They made it sound like you were sitting in a cathedral. Oh, okay. All right. God damn it, Marius, you should have told me, man. I could have spoken in a weirder way. It would have been fun. So the coin here for Maverick. A lot of early game minions looking a little better, but there's Harrison in hand for Freakeh, which is really important in this match. Or this match up, rather. The sound is a little bit weird on this clean feed. It's kind of stressful, actually. Could just go with an Armor Smith this turn, or develop a War Axe. Gonna go with a Smith. Nothing really to play here for Freakeh. Double War Song doesn't help. Neither does the Frothing. It's just going to be an armor up turn. Unless he wants to play the Frothing alone on the board or a War Song, but that doesn't seem right. So he's just going to armor up and pass it again. The Acolyte follow-up could come in here. Depends on how scared he is of a Deathspite follow-up. But he isn't really, because sure, he's like, okay, if he has it, he's probably going to target the Acolyte. But that's okay. I gain armor off of it, plus I have another Acolyte, so it's all good. Another Frothing draw. So the hand here of Freakeh itself isn't too great, but if he gets one Thorsan on that, that's insane. So the Deathspite draw here for Maverick itself seems pretty nice. The thing is, if he develops it now, which he is, because he drew two more, or one more rather, Harrison's going to get sick value off of that. The only bad thing about that Harrison is that his opponent's going to draw a card and gain 2 armor as well at the same time. So it's actually not the best Harrison, never mind. So he's drawing with the Harrison here. He has to, right? There's no way he doesn't do it. He absolutely needs to.
That belongs in a museum.
Nice draws there with the Inner Rage. He's going to develop this next Deathspite, take out the Harrison, and at the same time kind of develop that Deathspite for the next turn with the Patron round. So as I always kind of talk about this, or as I already did this day, was that the first person to get a lot of Patrons on board in the mirror matchup kind of has a better shot. So that's actually why Freakeh has to think about this, because at this point, he doesn't want to whirlwind the opponent's board, right? That doesn't seem like value. That looks terrible. The thing is, at the same time, he has to think about Patrons being developed, and he himself could play Patrons, Inner Rage, and whirlwind that. And it's actually kind of funny, because Maverick would have a hard time removing that. He'd have to use a Slam, his own Inner Rage on like the Acolyte and stuff. It doesn't work out. So why not just do this? Make your opponent work for it, because why the hell not? And I love that he's going for it. It's like, okay, draw, get armor all you want. I'm going to use my win condition, or rather, stay ahead condition, if you will, in this matchup. Get in here. Because now his own Inner Rage Whirlwind combo, sure, it could still come in, but it would seem a little weird. Or is there a way that Maverick can clear his opponent's board by bringing all of his opponent's patrons up to a number of 7 and to the same health total so that he can remove them all with whirlwind effects at the same time? He only has 2 whirlwind effects, so I don't know if that's enough. Maybe he could trade down the other 3 3s. No, there's no way this turn. He doesn't have a ghoul. Most of the time this involves a ghoul. So he's just going to trade off this 5-1, as I think he should. Gonna draw another Inner Rage. Okay. So he's Inner Raging the 3-1. Oh, he can clear this now. If he slams, right? Oh, wow, this is sick. Why doesn't he coin the slam first? Why didn't he coin the slam? If he coined the slam, he could have still whirlwind, right? Like, he would have still gotten 1 whirlwind effect. So he has more patrons right now, but he could have He could have had 4, and his opponent would have had none. Now he has 6, and his opponent has 2. Does that equal the same thing, or is this just more scary for an eventual Frothing Berserker combo? God damn, this board is just pure cancer right now, isn't it? Would you look at that?
So many choices.
So many choices, he says. Welp. Basically, there's just more patrons, and he needs to trade as many of them away as he can. It's gonna inner rage there to just make more patrons, and he's just gonna trade all of this as good as he can. Has to trade the healthy patrons first. Phew, man, this is harsh. Shield block off the top here for Maverick. Can Battle Rage first. 3 cards for free. That's always nice. Draws a Patron Execute and a Frothing. Now, he has to take care of this Charge Giver, right? In his mind, it just feels correct. So you'd have to play the War Axe, trade, and then afterwards maybe Shield block.
I wonder.
Shield block first. Yeah, it's the same thing. He ends up with 5 mana regardless. The Taskmaster doesn't do anything on this board. He's going to live with 2 patrons anyways, unless he doesn't want to trade. And he should trade. So I like playing the War Axe more. Why not develop that? Like, what speaks against it? Yeah, so there it is. And more damage to face. So the card advantage still here for Maverick. It is the match point for him. So if Freakeh loses this, he is out. He has to win this. He has to win this mirror matchup. Gnomish Inventor is definitely going to help with that. There's a slam. That doesn't help too much, at least in terms of the draw. No whirlwind effects for either side set up right now. Plays the Acolyte. He's going to trade the 3-2 here. So no more patrons off of that 1-3-1. But he does have another patron in hand. Ooh, and there's a War Song. Oh, that top deck. That top deck. Is there a way to win with the Frothing this turn? I don't know. There's no whirlwind effect. With a single whirlwind effect, then it would have been lethal, like for sure. But if you can't charge the Frothing, you might have to charge just the patrons and get, how many is that? 4 off of that? Off that board? That's 3 off of those 3, and then he has 1 more left, right? So that would work. He's going to go for it. Get in here. Execute off the top. Not bad, not good. Basically, Freakeh needs a whirlwind here. Because he's taking way too much damage in the next couple of turns. His opponent's at 32. He has 1 more turn, basically. He has 1 more turn. This draw decides it. And I think that's it, right? Is there anything he can draw? Does he play a random Brawl? There's an Acolyte, but that doesn't do it, right? There's nothing he can do at this point. Like, even charging an Armor Smith is just trash at this point. Yeah, it's going to be game here for Freakeh. And Maverick is going to win this and make the series 3-1.
So many choices.
As far as I see this. Am I seeing anything wrong? I don't think so. Like, he can remove a couple of these, but it's not going to change anything. He's only at 8 HP. He's going through every way that he can do this. He's charging an Acolyte, hoping for a Whirlwind to stay alive? Or what is he hoping for? Even a Whirlwind wouldn't have done anything. You got me, he says. And that's the 3-1 for Maverick. And he's going to move on and face RDU in the next round.